This is 1:44 a.m. in the morning, Nigerian time. So this is a little bit of rant. I think Chelsea is run by clowns, and I think Chelsea is a failed project. And now this is thoughts that has been on my mind for a few weeks now. Obviously, when we are winning, everything is nice and cozy. You don't really get to think about a lot of things. You don't really get to, uh, have a lot of thoughts in your mind. But when you're losing, it's the vibe is different. This just feels like deja vu. It feels like last season over and over again. And this is going to be a very, very long ass video, first of all. But hear me out. Hear me out. It will worth it if you give me your time. Now let's get to it. Now we're starting. I think Moresca will not even get any shot in this video. I think we'll tackle the main issue at hand. We'll tackle the real problem here. And that is Egbali. Egbali is the main issue here. If you could remember, around ending of last year, around during the international break, there was a civil war, kidney of who will take over and stuff and stuff. You remember what happened? Tudboli wanted the club to be run in a different way, while Egbali wants the club, Egbali and Feliciano, the Clearlake group, wants the club to run in a different way. Now, Egbali wants the two directors to make decision to bring to get things and then come to him to make the final decision. Why Todd wants one director who will take the whole decision around the whole club, take decision, has the final say, and run the club, and then at the end of the day, answer to the board. You get me? Now, you might say why the tussle, clearly when Che wanted to buy Chelsea, Todd was the face. But as they bought Chelsea, Egbali has the Clear Lake side, Clear Lake group has the most share in Chelsea. They have more than 69% share in Chelsea, so they are the majority shareholders. So when they first took over Chelsea, I think they allowed Todboli make the decision, signing the Koulibaly, the Sterlings, and every other players, the major names. When Todd was running Chelsea, we are linked with Cristiano Ronaldo when he wanted to leave Manchester United. We are talks of bringing in Neymar on a 6 months loan from PSG. There are talks of Mbappe. There are talks of big players moving to Chelsea, which a lot of Chelsea fans were like, no, we don't really need a lot of these players. But at least with Todd we could see the intentions, what he wants to do. Todd wants Chelsea to be a winning side. You get me? Not just the whole business bullshit that Bali has turned into. Todd wants the Chelsea to be a winning side, to be successful on and off the pitch. Now, Todd is a guy that has had experience in sports. He owns LA Dodgers. You get me? A baseball team, and they are very, very good. They are winning trophies. You get me? In the USA. While Egbali was so obsessed with the Arsenal model, was so obsessed with the Brighton model. And that is why we have someone like Paul Winstanley from Brighton. We employed a sporting director from Brighton to come to Chelsea. We are so obsessed with Monaco model. We are so obsessed with buying players on a cheap and selling them on a high. Stock market settings. You get me? Supermarket settings. We buy cheap, we sell high. See, I understand. If football business is different from any other business, you get me? Because you have to keep the fans happy. But I think Egbali doesn't really care whether Chelsea wins a trophy or Chelsea doesn't win a trophy. I think that's not really his cup of tea. He's just after the. It's just what I interests him is buying young players and flipping them for profit. And we have some certain section of our fan base being happy about Chelsea getting 5 million. Obviously, I was like, that's incredible business, but 5 million for Renato Vega for a loan fee, a player we bought just for 12 million. has just left under 6 months. Now let's get back to the whole thing before I get distracted. I have some mad HDHD or yeah HDHD, so I could easily forget shit. But let me not lose track and let me get into what I'm saying. So Egbali Igbali wants the club to be run as a business model where we buy young players. And you can see it even in this window where we could say we needed a midfielder. We are not we didn't sign any. We haven't signed any. We needed a midfielder. We haven't signed any. We are still signing kids. We signed Mamadou Sarr, we loaned him back to Strasbourg. We needed defender, but we are signing and we are loaning back to Strasbourg. We signed a kid from Kyrgyzstan, a 16 years old striker, who will not come to Chelsea till he's 18. And that's like 2 years from now. You get me? That's like deep how this how stupid these directors and Igbali is. See, one thing is certain is that nothing will change unless this stupid Ekbali and the stupid sporting directors switches, change the whole idea of how they want this to run this football club. Now, Paul Winstanley and what's his name, Roland Stewart, they come both from Monaco and Brighton. These clubs are known for breeding players and selling them. Running the whole Red Bull Group settings, Leipzig, Borussia Dortmund, clubs that buy and sell. This this fraud in the name of an owner. See, clearly Capital is a hedge fund, is a hedge fund company. You get me? They keep funds for the rich, and that is one of the reasons. That's how they got the money to occupy to buy their share at Chelsea, and they only see Chelsea as a business opportunity, which I'm not really up against. If you're going to spend billions of dollars in a venture, you should at least be making profit. I don't flipping care if they go and buy it, Messi's children or Ronaldo's children, 6 years old kids, 10 years old kids. I don't flipping care. Just get some experience in the team. But no, we're buying kids. We're buying kids. Now let's get to our two stupid directors, Paul Winstanley and Lawrence Stewart. Paul Winstanley, to be precise, now it looks like Chelsea is a political party. They're no longer a football club. A whole lot of politics, from the sacking of Pochettino, which doesn't make sense to me till today. I'm not in any way defending that Pochettino was there was time he was bad and there were time. I think after the Arsenal game, I was like, sack him now. Like I was really truly expecting him to be sacked, but he wasn't sacked. He was left till the end of the season, and this was the man that these stupid directors make how many pages to say that he's the right man for the job. They made more than 13 or 30 pages stating why Pochettino is the right man for the job, on only for you guys to sack him a year later. Are you guys kidding me? The directors are clueless. The owners are clueless. Chelsea football clubs looks like we have no direction. The only thing they are constant is buying kids. That is the only thing we are constant in. I think Chelsea should be investigated for child trafficking or human trafficking, because the way we have the amount of signings we are making, the way we are selling people in this club, the amount of kids we have sold, the amount of kids we have bought, we should be investigated for child trafficking and human trafficking. Now, Moresca, I'll touch on Moresca a little bit. Moresca is a yes man. So is the directors. They have no mind of their own. They only said, they only say, they only say or do what suits the stupid Egbali. Everything I'll talk will go back to Egbali. He will go back to Egbali. Now Moresca. When Moresca came in, he was ruthless. He was getting rid of players. He was getting rid of Raheem Sterling. Everyone was applauding him in the media. Now looking back at that decision and what have transpired since this January window, I can tell you personally, those that are not a decision. Reason why the board wanted to get rid of Raheem Sterling was because of what? He's on a very, very high wage. And that is why the board wants to get rid of him, because he's on a very, very high wage. That's why they want to get rid of him. Now look at Ben Chilwell, another player that is on very, very high wage, that is very, very injured, and that is one of the reasons the board wants to get rid of him. Konichukwu Emeka of high wage, and that is why the board want to get rid of him. Trevor Chaloba, the coach said with his mouth in the preseason that he's surplus to requirement. Why did the board want to sell him? Because he's PSR, pure profit. He's from the academy and he'll be registered in the book as pure profit. Our board of directors or our sporting directors, no, so now they are business directors, are so obsessed, with keeping the book right, staying away from PSR, blah blah blah. Conor Gallagher. Why was Conor Gallagher so they said he couldn't sit the system? Conor Gallagher would have been a very good player in this system, not really a very good player, but an extra body in this system than the Ken Andrews Behold spent 35 million buying, which was PSR, a PSR or financial fair play signing. And that is how we are signing this summer. We ended the season on sixth, and we said, okay, yes, we need a very very solid striker, maybe one or two defenders, maybe an extra midfielder, and we are good. And what's the signing we made? We signed Pedro Neto because of his agent, George Mendes. He has a super agent, and he has good relationship with the board. And the board are like, yeah, get him. They are doing everything to favor. Yeah, the signing we make in a sporting sense, it doesn't really make sense. Kenan Roosevelt, PSR reasons. We bought him to help Leicester City offset their PSR reason, and they have to take some gold in. Is it goldfish or gold what? Some gold in from the academy for 5 million. A player that haven't played, they took him for 5 million. Now you look at Joao Felix. We got Joao Felix because of we want to sell Gallagher. And if no, and if it's not because of we want to sell Gallagher, is why we got Joao Felix. Tell me why in 6 months we are looking to offload him. We are looking to sell him to what's his name, to Aston Villa, because Aston Villa are really really interested. I think Unai Emery has been interested in Joao Felix from the summer, but Joao Felix, choose to go to Chelsea. You get me? If it's not for PSR reason and his agent is George Mendes, tell me why we signed Joao Felix, a player that only played I think 3 Premier League for Chelsea, a player that doesn't suit what the manager is trying to build. Tell me why you want to say we brought him in the first place. Now, Kenan Drewsbury, what exactly is Kenan Drewsbury's work? How is Kenan Drewsbury improve Chelsea as a team? Kenan Drewsbury is not an improvement on Conor Gallagher. It's not an improvement on Enzo Fernandez. It's not even close. He's not even close to anybody in that midfield. It's not an improvement. He's not even close to Kopama, which seems to be his favorite position as the number 10. Now we look at the other side. What are the signing we make? Pedro Neto. Pedro Neto, that roadrunner, he's a fraud, and you know my stand on him. Pedro Neto is a fraud. He just runs around, no end product, nothing. Nothing. When you look back at the summer, you see like we didn't make any good signing. We made rubbish signing because of our sporting directors are stupid. Now we get to Enzo Moresca again. Now you are telling me the board didn't give me a target. They didn't give me a target. They didn't say we should qualify for Champions League. Now this stupid board, you Lawrence Sweat and Egbal and Paul Stanley, you stupid board sack Pochettino because of what? The number shows that he's underperforming and blah 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 blah, and he didn't get to his what the goal set for him, which was the Champions League, and that is why you guys sacked him. And now you went and employed a new manager, and straight away you didn't tell him you won the Champions League. And now, if you didn't win the Champions League, what were you guys waiting? Because you said you wanted to get to the Champions League before you negotiate for a shirt sponsor that's going to pay you guys how much you guys are requesting. So now make it all make sense to me. Someone should make it make sense, because I'm not stupid. I'm not going mad. I'm not a lot like this club is so obsessed with PSR and briefing. Now, when Trevor Chalova went on loan and we had to recall him, we had a lot of briefing, a lot of what was the word again? What's the word again? Yeah, a lot of briefings. They said one said that what's his name was the person that made the call. Egbali was the person that made the call to call back Chaloba. Some said that it was Paul Stanley. We all just trying to look good. And now, after we lost against Manchester City and a lot of fans were at the neck of the directors. Guess what happened? They came out and they said, this week is going to be a very, very busy week. Today is the 31st of January. Transfer window is going to end. No, today is 30th, I think. Excuse me. Let me check. I think today is 30th. Today is 31st. Today is Friday. Friday 31st of January. And we haven't gotten in anybody. We haven't signed anybody. We signed Mamadusa, which is not coming to us till the summer. And that shit doesn't make sense to me. We need to recall some midfielders to serve as an option in the midfield. Guess what? We didn't do shit. We didn't do shit. Now we are a lot of people are saying that Chelsea are grooming Andre Santos to get to. See, I'm not taking anything past these directors. Obviously, there are links of Bayern Munich keeping tabs on him, but I'm not taking anything past these directors. You don't want to disrupt his development at Strasbourg. That's not the reason. The reason is because we are co-owned. The Blue Co owns Strasbourg, and guess what? They don't want to. There are talks of Strasbourg might get relegated if Andre Santos leaves, which is he's one of their most important players there. And now there are shouts of Strasbourg are the shout to getting a European place, maybe a conference league or maybe an Europa League, and now that's the talk now. They are going to, and that's why they are not going to recall him. See, I don't even see what's his name, Santos being recalled. Now we have few days. We have bare few days. We have the first. I think the transfer window closes on Monday. We have 3 days. 3 days. 3 flipping days before the transfer window opens. And guess what? We are battling Tottenham and Manchester United for Matthias Steele. And now I'm asking myself, how does Matthias Steele comes into this squad and improves this team? Anytime I talk about this club or anytime I want to, I calm down to analyze and make sense everything that is going on in this club or how this club is going to go forward, nothing makes sense to me. Nothing makes sense to me. We look so organized and yet so disorganized. We have a squad that now, let's get to Robert Sanchez. Now, a lot of people are saying, a lot of Chelsea fans are saying that one of the reasons that Pochettino got sacked was because that's not what they're saying, but this report is correct. One of the reasons he got sacked that he doesn't see eye to eye, or he had a fallout with the board with the business directors. What the fuck am I even saying? Sporting directors, business directors that sold to us. They sold to Pochettino that Sanchez is the best goalkeeper. Should be the number one. That the data says or the number says that Sanchez is the number one goalkeeper at Chelsea. The minute he stopped playing Sanchez at Chelsea, I think that's one of where his problems started. Thanks to injury. And I'm praying, can Sanchez get injured again? Because against West Ham, I'm not really seeing any difference. I'm not expecting that bold-headed demon to drop him. Because guess what? He has come. And I don't know who sold in that bullshit. And there are a lot of talk that the goalkeeper, the head of goalkeeper coach worldwide for the Blue Co, which is Robert Kinnear, which we brought from Brighton, which is Robert, I think he worked with Robert Sanchez at Brighton and now to Chelsea. I think it looks there's a lot of politics. There's the Brighton link with Robert Sanchez, and anybody with an eye, even a blind man knows that Robert Sanchez is shit. A blind man knows that Robert Sanchez is shit. That Robert Sanchez is rubbish. But guess what? We kept playing him. I think Enzo Maresca is going to be getting some attacks from me when I see Robert Sanchez in that goalpost. If I see Robert Sanchez in our next match and Robert Sanchez starts for us against West Ham, and now I know that Maresca is the problem. Maresca is a yes man, our directors are yes man. The club is being run by yes, but no one can challenge the owner. Well, I'm not expecting you to challenge the owner, but can they really do anything about it? That's the thing, because everything now falls back to Egbali. They are following Egbali's order. But I don't think it's Egbali's order that Robert Sanchez starts for us, which, by the way, has been rubbish. And I think the directors want to die on the hill that they're two recruitments, that they're two Monaco twins of Ben White by the shoe. and Axel Disasi is the best centre back. She's suited for the system. They are very good for the system. Ship those two fraudsters out, especially Axel Disasi. And I'm happy that what's his name? Aston Villa are trying to move it. Now, oh my god, we could go on and on. See, I have a lot to say. I have a whole lot to say. I have a whole lot to say. But I think I'm gonna save it. So I don't make this video more than long. I think I've recorded for up to 20 minutes already. You get me? So I don't want to make this video more longer than is not meant to be. You get me? Because I have a lot to say. I have a lot to say. But I will save it. I'll save it for the West Ham game. I think whatever that happens in the West Ham game, we decide what I would think. But I think we really, really need to win that West Ham game. And obviously, if I'll be doing the preview for the West Ham game, make sure you check it out. That's all for now. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. You go be.